Hello, I'm Nazmeen. I'm a speech and language therapist for Evelina London Children and Young People's Community Services. Today I'll be sharing a zones of regulation story with you. So my colleagues Amber and Susanna have previously talked about zones of regulation and how you can use the approach to recognise emotions as well as using strategies to help with emotional regulation. If you're using zones of regulation with your child and you're finding it challenging to help them understand or accept certain zones that they might be in, today's story might help you to explore that further with them. So I'll start by sharing my top tip. My top tip is to remember we go through different zones throughout the day and that there are no right or wrong zones to be in. And I'll share my visual timetable with you to tell you and your children what we'll be doing today. So we'll start off by saying hello, and then I'll share my story, and then we'll stop for a reminder, and we'll finish by saying bye. So first thing, hello, I'm Nazmeen. And now it's time to share my story. So I'm going to talk about zones of regulation today. You might be using these zones to talk about how you're feeling throughout the day. Sometimes you might be in different zones at different times throughout the day. Remember, it's okay if you're not always in the green zone. I'll use my story to explain what I mean. This is a story of Omar's day in lockdown. This is Omar. Omar has woken up feeling quite calm and ready for his day because he slept very well, even though his neighbours had played quite loud music last night. Omar was in the green zone. He went to turn his alarm off when he realised it was actually quite late in the morning and he'd slept in. Omar remembered his teacher saying that if the class missed registration online, they would get a phone call home. Omar was worried. He didn't want his dad to know he'd missed registration. Omar is now in the yellow zone. After getting ready and getting a quick breakfast, Omar settled on his desk to get ready for online learning. He did some slow breathing exercises to help him calm down so he's ready to learn. He logged on and let his teacher know he's now online. Omar had slowly moved from the yellow zone to the green zone. Omar managed to finish some worksheets online since he sat down. He'd put on some music to help him focus, but soon found himself becoming quite wriggly as he started to tap and move with the music. Omar was moving back to the yellow zone. He realised he was losing focus and decided to take his earphones off and focus on the sound of the rain outside instead to help him focus. This helped Omar get back to the green zone. Omar remained in the green zone as he finished a new word map and showed his teacher. Omar had gotten up to put his poster away so he could hang it on the wall later on, but he accidentally spilt some juice on it. He was sad now. His poster was soaked and couldn't be hung up anymore. Omar was in the blue zone. After eating some lunch, Omar was starting to feel better. He decided to use the rest of his break to do some painting as this helped him feel calm. He's now in the green zone. Whilst painting, Omar heard some loud music start to play from next door. His neighbours were playing music again and it was getting louder. Omar was getting annoyed. He'd moved to the yellow zone. Suddenly, Omar heard a loud crash from next door. He accidentally knocked his painting to the floor and the paint pots to the floor too. He'd made a big mess. This made Omar feel super mad. He was now in the red zone. Omar had lost control. He looked at the mess and ripped his painting and began to cry. Omar's dad had heard him crying and had come in to check what had happened. He offered Omar a hug and sat down and talked to Omar about his day. Omar talked about his poster, the loud music, the phone call that he was waiting for. They used his zones poster to talk about what all the zones he'd been through and also explain all the strategies Omar had used. Omar's dad explained how he spoke to the class teacher to explain why Omar was going to be late and how the neighbours had agreed to use headphones or to lower their volume during the day. After his talk with his dad, Omar had felt a lot calmer, and he was now in the green zone. Omar had learnt something very important. He'd learnt that he'd been through all the different zones throughout the day, and that it was okay. That it's okay if he's not always in the green zone. I hope you enjoyed that story. So now, we'll tick off the story. Now it's time for the reminder. So the reminder today is that we feel different emotions or different zones throughout the day, and to remember that it's okay if we're not always in the green zone. It's okay to be upset, frustrated, wriggly, and all other emotions. Using our strategies that work for us can help us to move back to the green zone slowly. So, now it's time to say bye. So bye everyone. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions or queries, please have a look at our website. You might find your questions are answered on our advice and support section. Our website is www.evelina.nhs.uk/community speech and language. This can also be found on our Facebook page. If you can't find your answer to your question, you can email us at gst-tr.contact.sot@nhs.net and we'll get back to you. If your child attends a Lambeth or a Southwark school, you can also attend one of our drop-ins to talk directly to a speech and language therapist. Ask your school Senko for more information. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be posting another video next Wednesday, and you can always rewatch this one.